Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? Some of you may have heard this by now, but very recently there's been a new exploit for the Xbox One and Series consoles that lets people extract and dump Xbox games in their entirety. What that means is we can now extract the game files of any Xbox game. Previously, it was impossible for games on Xbox One and Series consoles. The potential for what that enables is actually really huge, but this video isn't going to be about that, nor how to do that.
Now, before we get into today's video, I've got a quick message from our sponsor, boot.dev. Have you ever wanted to learn how to code like in the movies, or perhaps you've tried and just couldn't really get into it? Well, boot.dev is changing the game in how we learn to code and master back-end web development. And when I say changing the game, I do mean quite literally. One of the biggest issues I hear from people learning how to code is that they kind of get like either bored or burned out after a while. Well, boot.dev does things differently. They'll teach you from start to finish the Python and Go programming languages. It's online, self-paced, and it's basically designed to feel like a role-playing game. Like there's different levels, achievements, quests, earning XP, and even like a global leaderboard. Plus, the platform is designed to get you to code as much as possible. Because let's face it, hands-on experience is definitely one of the best experience you can get for this. So if you want to take that next step in your online coding adventure, like quite literally in this case, then look no further than boot.dev. You can use my link in the description below, as well as my exclusive discount code Generalkidd for 25% off your first month, or if you do a yearly subscription, 25% off the whole year, whatever you prefer.
So, Halo MCC first launched on the Xbox One in 2014, and then a year later, the very rare and unique China version of Halo MCC also launched. It wouldn't be until 2020 when most of MCC would finally come to PC, but by then MCC had changed so much. These old builds of MCC from launch are quite mysterious in what they contained, because up until now, it was impossible to see the contents of their game files. Now, so far, I and a few others have only been able to do preliminary investigations on these old builds of MCC, but already we've noticed quite a few interesting things so far. So, for this video, we'll be taking a look at all the secret, previously unknown stuff in these old builds of MCC. Okay, so the first big thing I noticed right away was the code name for Halo MCC at the time, or rather what the game's executable and main menu launcher was called. So at the time, MCC's executable and main menu code name was called Warchest. All references to this name was already gone by the time MCC came to PC, and on PC people could look at the files and there's no reference to Warchest anymore. By then, MCC's UI was based entirely on Unreal Engine and no longer had the Warchest codename anymore. It was actually pointed out to me by a friend of mine that the Warchest codename is similar to the Call of Duty Warchest bundle on Steam, which contained the first two Call of Duty games as well as the expansion pack for the first game. I have no idea if Warchest is a reference to that Call of Duty bundle, but the naming makes sense considering MCC is also technically a bundle of the original Halo games. But yeah, prior to all this, I had no idea that the Warchest codename even existed or was used for Halo MCC. It's a small secret or unknown piece of Halo history, essentially. The next thing in this build is that Halo 4 and Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer, and really all the Halo games, still contain their main menu maps. They obviously went unused even in the original MCC, but they do still have them in this build. But what's significant about that? Well, for starters, no one has ever seen the main menu for the Halo 2 Anniversary multiplayer. But we'll get to that in a bit. The significance of these main menu maps being in this build are that they were removed from MCC when it came to PC. Most of the Halo games still had the tags for their main menus available in the official mod tools that 343 released, and modders could rebuild them to see them, and in a way preserve them as well. But not Halo 4 or H2A multiplayer. Even in the mod tools, those games still lost their main menus, and modders could not rebuild them because the tags weren't there anymore. But here we are on the launch versions of MCC with fully compiled MCC-friendly versions of these main menus. So what does the Halo 2 Anniversary main menu look like, since no one has ever seen it before? Well, the answer is, we still don't know yet. Halo 2 Anniversary's multiplayer was built off of Halo 4 and uses the same engine for the most part. a lot of people speculate that the H2A main menu is basically just the same as Halo 4's. That is certainly possible, but the file sizes between Halo 4 and H2A's main menus are different, so they're definitely not identical. And thanks to Zedekins, we can use the community mod tool assembly to take a look around the tags of these main menu maps and compare them. At first glance, there definitely are a lot of similarities. I can't say for sure the H2A main menu is identical to Halo 4. A lot of the assets have the same names as Halo 4, except they have H2A's codename, Sway, added to the file names. I've also seen speculation that H2A's main menu is the Halo 4 main menu, except it has the darker themed UI that you could see in H2A's theater mode on MCC. I think this theory is very possible, and the tags in the main menu does suggest that it's Halo 4, but with a few changes for H2A specifically. I'm hoping that one day with these maps we'll be able to recreate the Halo 4 and Halo 2 Anniversary main menus to preserve them in a way for MCC, because right now they're essentially lost to time, especially H2A's main menu. So the next interesting thing in these MCC builds is that Halo 3 still contains the Bungie intro video from the Xbox 360 version. It's unused, of course, but it's odd that it's still in here, even though everything else like the end credits were stripped out. This intro video certainly wasn't included in the PC release of MCC either, so I'm not sure the purpose of why it's there, but it is there. Likewise, Halo 1 also includes the after credits ending for Anniversary graphics. I don't remember if this ending was originally played or not on the MCC version of Halo 1, but I feel like that the after credits ending was simply never played at all. The classic graphics version doesn't exist here either, so I'm not entirely sure to what extent this is used. It is there on MCC PC now, but I feel like there was a point where it was gone completely, but I don't remember for sure. Another interesting thing is these OG builds that Zedekins noticed is that they contain references to rally points for Halo 1 and 2's campaign missions. Of course, these rally points never worked, and those games never had rally points in any version ever, but it's interesting in these old builds that it looks like the devs were planning on adding them at some point. That would have been really great if they did, because there's several long missions in Halo 1 and 2 where sometimes I would have just liked to play like a certain part of it, or skip right to the end without having to start from the very beginning. But unfortunately, no rally points for Halo 1 and 2 in the release version of MCC or any version after that. Oh, and another fun thing that Zedekins noticed in these old builds of MCC is that they also contain the files for the Comic Sans font. I have no idea why that would be in there, because I'm pretty sure it was never used anywhere in the game, but it is there in game files, and it was apparently removed in later builds of MCC. Alright, well, those are all the main interesting things that I and others have noticed so far about these old builds of Halo MCC. We've only really barely scratched the surface though, so we're still looking into these builds, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the interesting things that we found so far. I'm sure there's more interesting things in there, and if there are any more, I'll be sure to update you all in a future video. But that wraps it up for this video. Hopefully you all found this to be interesting, and if you're as excited as I am to see what else is in these old builds of MCC, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos covering this. But aside from that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!